you're not playing, it's different. And so I think that's what helped me the most, and I've just kind of taken that routine and bringing it into this year and just continue to do the same thing. I don't know if I learned much that week. I think it's just validation. I think I had an interesting year in general, being released and then coming back and being practice squad and then coming and playing. I always knew I had it in me. I know the team had it in itself. I mean, we saw it all year. We were 6-2 and then had that crazy losing streak. So from a team perspective, we knew we had it in us. And so I think more than anything, it was just validation. I think the football world in general is just such a small world. And, it's just cool. It's a fraternity. You get to know these people. Obviously, I didn't get to know Cliff really well, but, the coaching tree, there's so many people who heard so much about him from SPAV and everything. And so it's just such a small world. It's a close-knit fraternity. So it's cool to see everybody succeeding like that. For me, I'm just going to be ready to go in, and for it to be in Arizona, for me to maybe play is awesome. But, at the same time, I've been preparing the same every week, doing the same things every week. So if it does come to the fact that I play on Sunday, then I'll be ready.
So as you can tell, Allen, very confident. He is ready to go. And he has some ties with Arizona. He's from Arizona. And actually, he has some ties with Kyler Murray as well. They actually crossed paths at Texas A&M, which is really neat. We'll talk about that in this week's Black and Blue Huddle. But lots to talk about. And Ron Rivera is not happy with this whole Cam Newton situation, as we saw yesterday.
Yeah, Coach Rivera is usually a pretty good person with the media. He's very nice and whatnot. But yesterday, he was pretty fed up with the Cam Newton questions concerning his injury. Again, we still don't know his status, but check out Coach Rivera walking out of his Thursday press conference.
Cam, though.
I know it's about Cam, but we won't. I don't know any more until tomorrow. So let's just let's talk about Arizona. If not, there's no reason for me to stand here.
When you felt before the opener, you were 100% confident he was going to be ready to go. Where are you on that level now?
I just asked you to ask me questions about somebody else. I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay? I told you I won't know anything until tomorrow. Okay? Thank you. Golly.
Now, Coach Rivera, like I said, he's usually pretty nice, and it looked like he gave the media a chance to stop asking those questions. But, that's what you sign up for when you're the coach of the Panthers and your star quarterback is injured. So, again, the Panthers are 0-2 right now, looking for that first win. I did a little homework and saw that the Panthers are the only 0-2 team favorite to win this week. It's kind of odd, but hey, it's pretty cool too. So we'll see if they'll get that win. What do you think?
Yeah, hopefully that pans out. Speaking of Rivera, we were at the press conference on Wednesday, and in his defense, he was asked about Cam Newton plenty of times on Wednesday as well. But as you mentioned, of course this question's going to come up. And until we get a definitive answer, the media's going to keep pressing this. We want to know, will Cam Newton play? Of course, they are 0-2, and that is now, it's go time for the Panthers. They dropped 2 home games, which is even worse than being 0-2. So I asked Kyle Allen about that. He said it's time we need to just put those in the past, not dwell on the 2 losses. We're going to hit the road, going to try to pick up some road wins and get the season back on track. But our own Todd Gibson talks about going 0-2 and where do they go from here.
That we lost, we were in it until the end. We stepped on our own toes, we made our own mistakes, but what you see is that we just keep fighting. We get to the last game, we have a chance to win against the Rams too. And so I think our mentality is we just keep fighting. We just got to clean up our mistakes from ourselves. We just keep going because we're this team, and if we clean up that stuff, we're going to be fine.
We figured out a lot of good things, a lot of good things. But we still have to, there are some things we can be better at, not just as a collective offense, playing together as one, everybody trusting each other, and like you said, this long break we did have a chance to kind of look at ourselves and be with yourself on where you are and where you are with the team and what can you to get better. So we did have a long time to look in the mirror and figure out who.
The Panthers can get one back with a road win on Sunday when they travel to Arizona to face the Cardinals. For the Black and Blue Huddle, I'm Todd Gibson.
So no one in that locker room is panicking yet. Let's remember, it is only week 3, and there are some people that already wrote off the Panthers, though a lot of their future, of course, depends on Cam Newton.
Yeah, and I actually think they'll get the win this week. The Cardinals are, they're not a pretty good team. Kyler Murray, rookie quarterback, he'll probably have some struggles against that Panthers defense, which is still pretty good.
Right.
Hopefully Kyle Allen can come in, if he does play, come in and provide some magic for the Panthers.
Yeah.
And this week, unlike last week, we're hoping that Christian McCaffrey can turn it on. He was a beast in week 1, not so much in week 2. Hopefully for you fantasy owners that might own him, I don't own him.
I wish I did.
Yeah, I wish I did.
I wanted him.
Yeah, for you guys to own him. Hopefully he goes off for you guys. But we're back with another week of start 'em and sit 'em. I'll give you 3 guys that you should start in your fantasy lineups and 3 guys you might want to sit on the bench. Here it goes.
First up, Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson. The former NC State Wolfpack signal caller is among the elite NFL quarterbacks, and that's continued to show why every week. Here's why you should start Wilson. First of all, he's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the game. Let's just get that straight. Last season, he completed 65.6% of his passes, good for second best of his career, and his 35 touchdowns were a career high, and his 7 interceptions were a career low. He's coming off of a 3-touchdown performance versus the Steelers in week 2, and although the Steelers have been getting demolished by opposing offenses this season, Wilson's performance is not to be taken lightly. He now gets the Saints, who have allowed the 4th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks in 2019. Now, we're only 2 weeks into the season, but it doesn't seem like the Saints secondary will get much better. They have been a team worth picking on for some time now, and this week is no different. Next up, Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott. It has been an up and down start for Zeke. He was not a focal point in the Cowboys' week 1 win versus the Giants, as he split carries evenly with backup Tony Pollard. But he ramped up his production in week 2 with 23 touches for 111 yards and a score. He now gets the easiest matchup in football, the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins have looked like a glorified high school team compared to the rest of the NFL, and they now have to deal with Zeke running downhill at them all game. The Dolphins have given up 102 points in the first 2 weeks, so what do you think the league's highest paid running back is going to do to them? The Dolphins have allowed the most rushing yards, and surprisingly, they're not dead last in fantasy points given up to running backs. That may change this week. I'm expecting Elliott to get 20 plus carries on his way to at least 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Last but not least, Detroit Lions wide receiver Kenny Golladay. Now, Golladay may be an unknown commodity to many casual fans, but he shouldn't be amongst the fantasy football community. The 6'4" monster is a force to be reckoned with and has turned heads early in his career. He is the Lions' most targeted receiver and plays in an offense that likes to sling the ball around. He gets to face the Philadelphia Eagles secondary, who has been toyed with so far this season. Their defense has allowed 2 300-yard passing games to start the season, and both of those quarterbacks also tossed 3 touchdowns. Finally, the Eagles maintain a very fearsome run defense, so Detroit will need to try to win the game on quarterback Matt Stafford's arm. Why not show Kenny Golladay lots of love?
And again, I did pretty good last week predicting the guys who you should start. So hopefully the same thing is for this week. If they don't do pretty good for you guys, don't come after me. I'm sorry. Those are just my predictions. So
Well, at least we got some good advice there.
Yeah.
And as far as the Panthers-Arizona game, I think it's going to come down to the Panthers' defense. They do have a veteran defense. They have a lot of guys that can make plays. And we spoke with Trey Boston earlier this week, and I said, I know you guys are focused on takeaways.
Yeah.
How are you going to try to take advantage of maybe some rookie mistakes? And he said, we always look for takeaways. We always look for opportunities.
Ball hawking defense.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's no different. Of course, he has some great stats over 2 games.
Yep.
657 passing yards, only 17 rushing yards. We know he's a dual threat. He was the Heisman Trophy winner. This isn't a secret, but we haven't seen him run yet. So we're going to see the DBs on the Panthers try to force him to kind of force this guy to run and see what he can do. So I think it's going to come down to the defense.
Yeah.
Obviously, a big question mark on that quarterback, and we'll try to update you guys online and all our social media pages and keep you in the loop. And of course, in this week's Black and Blue Huddle.
Of course. And for Black and Blue Huddle, I'm Casley Sims. Alyssa Ray, we'll catch you next week.